Get your hands together, make it loud for the hilarious John Kennedy, everybody. Let him hear it.
He was in prison. All right. How are you guys? You guys doing good? Yeah? Good. My parents were here, so that sucked. I'm like so tired now, because this is what I'm going to talk about, but like I'm young enough where you guys are like, none of you are like, I think we're going to learn something, so this is just all that I have. So my parents were here, and I'm from North Dakota, so I have to like show them around, because do you guys all live here? New York? Yeah, so it's like you just gotta like be a tour guide for a week. Which fucking sucks. And my parents, they're like North Dakota, so they get here, and it's like and I'm like, yeah, they're tall. They're pretty. That's a new one. There were two, and now they just have one, I guess. So because they don't know, so I have to like show them. So and my dad's like a theater guy. He wanted to go to a Broadway show. That's the best you can do in theater. If you're in theater, the biggest thing you can do is like be a cat. So he wants to go to a Broadway, or you could be like Leaves, I guess, or whatever. But anyway, he wanted to go to this show, and I had to bring him there. And we were running late already, and I was looking at the subway app, and and the next train was in 5 minutes. And the one after that was in a few days. So I was like, all right, come on, we gotta go now. And my mom, she's like, but this guy's homeless. And I'm like, pretend he's evil. Like, I don't know, just pretend. It feels better to pretend. Let's go. So we like run down, and then there's the turnstile, and I have the phone. You just knuckle bump it, and you get in. So I went in, and my mom, she bought like the card, and she's like, it's not, John, wait, it's a card. It's not, John, and she's like, I'm like, you gotta flip the card. She's like, I did. And as I'm looking at, I see this, it's like slow motion. Her purse like went to her elbow and then to her wrist and just slowly spilled everything all over the ground. And the train pulled up right in front of us. And she's like, oh, one sec. And she like starts to, and my dad was like, John, go hold the door of the train. We're gonna, and I don't know if you've tried to hold the door of a train before. But it's not like an elevator door, where you just, no one's in it, and you're just like, hey, come on, The door of the train, it's just operated by a guy who's never kissed or hugged. And is like a guy who's closed doors emotionally and physically his whole life. He's just closed them, and he hates white people. I could tell. And it's justified, but I could tell, So the door starts to close. I just put my foot in. I just got the foot in, pinned the foot, and I'm like, all right, he'll open it. It was like 10 seconds. I was like, don't go, like, please. And then it opened up, and I'm like, all right, let's get the body in. So I get the body in, and it just starts like it started. And I was like, and I saw him too. He was like. He was like, maybe I can kill him. Let's see if I can kill him, It's like, this is for voting for Trump. And I'm like, I didn't vote for Trump. And he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, I don't even have a New York license. And he's like, yeah, whatever. So he didn't say that, but we could tell. And also, they got on, no one's excited in this city. Like, I thought, my parents were like, why is no one cheering? Like, we got on the train. No one's like, yeah, they did it. I was like, no one cares about you here. That's what I found out pretty early on, is that no one, like, you'd think if you're around more people, you'd care about people more. It's the opposite. You just hate everyone. And I just can't. Like, I got pickpocketed too when I was like a few months ago. Okay, so I got this new phone. This is a new one. I'll be out there if anyone wants to try it after. You can just come up and log into stuff or whatever. But this is the newest one. It's already broken. But I had to get, so I was at a concert in Brooklyn, and I got pickpocketed, which I didn't even realize that was a thing. Pickpocket, I thought that was in movies like Tintin, or like, I don't know, like Shawshank, something where it's an old pocket watch, I didn't know people did it with phones, but okay, so this is what happened. It was in my back pocket, so I'm at a concert, it's in my back pocket, and then this guy just like came up, and he had like a hat on, and he good gamed me, like he hit my ass. But I'm in concert mode, so I'm like, all right, yeah, I love you. Or, yeah, dude. And then he just booked it. He sprinted away. But I'm still concert mode, so I was like, oh, he's quick. All right, yeah, he's gotta go somewhere, So, and then I was gonna take a photo, so I felt for it, and I knew he had it. I just felt my ass, and I was like, no one hits your ass and doesn't have it, So I don't know what that means, but I was just That doesn't make sense. I was just trying to find him. Like, I couldn't even enjoy it anymore. I was just like trying to find this guy. But it's hard. I'm like asking people. I don't know if you've tried. It's hard to get information from people on Molly. I don't know if you've tried before. It's not like, because I'm like, hey, have you guys seen a guy in a green hat? And they're like, I wish. You know, like, they don't even know where they are. So he got my phone. And then, okay, so this phone, it took me 3 days to get this phone. I had to get it shipped. So 3 days. I don't know the last time you guys have been without a phone. I feel like we're all on it at this point more than we're not. So this is what happens. 3 days. 3 days without a phone. This is what happens. The first day without a phone, I was like, you know, you're like, and the thumb is like, there it is. You know, the thumb doesn't know. It's like, let's text Brian. Stop thumb. You know. And you'll hear phones. You'll hear, is it mine? I'm farting. That's it. I was at the point where my friend was like, let me look up a bar. I was like, can I just type it in? Like, I just wanted to touch one. I think that's the first day. It's just like, what do you mean? You know, so that was day one. The second day is, I started to talk out loud to myself. The second day, like you ever see a crazy person outside and they're talking to no one? They just don't have a phone. That's all it is. They're not they might be on drugs, but it's not always drugs. We don't talk to them, so they're like, well, I'll still go. Hey, guy, you know, or whatever. And I wasn't crazy when I would talk out loud. I would say little words to myself, like I walked past McDonald's and I was like, Mickey D's. Like, it's very small things I would say. But big enough where people heard it and they were like, what did you say? They call it that sometimes. So that was the second day talking. First day was just tweaking out. And then the third day I kind of saw the beauty in life again. You know what I mean? Does that, like, I'm out of the Matrix. I'm like, oh, can I pet it? It's like petting people's dog. Oh, what's its name? You're on your phone, whatever. You know, like, I'm just petting. Like, I was sitting on the train, and I've never looked up on the train, ever. I've been here 4 years. I've always been like this. But I had to. I had nothing to look at, so I was like looking around at the ads. I was like, oh, maybe I'll go to college there. It looks diverse, that's fun. You know, and directly across from me, I noticed this couple. It was like a guy and a girl, and he had his arm around her, and she was like snuggled, sleeping on his shoulder, and he was holding her. It was really cute. But then he started to tickle her rib while she was sleeping. And she was like, God, babe, stop it. And he was like, and she's like, stop it. And then she looked up, and I was just watching him. And she was like, babe, stop that. Anyway, I got a phone again. I'm back to normal. Whatever is normal. Whatever we're all doing. I don't know. I'm watching people clean carpets. Is that on your guys' thing? Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. 4 people. Wow. It's on. Everyone's in. All right. Good. What else do I want to talk about? I should have planned. There's like a lot of cameras, and I didn't plan. All right. Like, this is the one where you're like, I should know everything. Parents were here. And my dad's been a theater teacher my whole life. I was in his plays because he was a high school theater teacher, and I would be, when I was a child, I'd be in his plays because they needed kids to be in the play sometimes. So I was like 5 years old. I was in Christmas Carol one year, and you know that. Yeah, everyone knows that play. I was in Christmas Carol, and I was just a dead kid, like, you know, when Scrooge is like, no, I'm sorry, world, and we're like, fuck you, or, you know, those kids. I was one of those kids that's like, you fucking rich piece of shit. So I had one line too. My one line was, look what you did to me, Scrooge. That was it. But it was like exciting because I was 5. I've never like talked in front of so many people. So I was excited to do it. We did 5 shows, all right? The 5th show was on Christmas Eve. That was the big one. Everyone remember, you remember. That was the big one. Everyone was there. And so 5 shows. The first 4 shows, okay, so this lady, Crystal, she did all of our stage makeup, like just because that's her name. I don't know. Like, you can do 3 things if you're named Crystal. You can work in a diner, strip, or high school makeup. And we agree. You're quiet, but we agree. So Crystal did our makeup because it was her destiny. And the fifth show, this is the thing. The fifth show, I had a small bladder. I was 5. I went to go pee, and then I came back. And when I came back, Crystal was gone. She just forgot all about me. So I was like, I know, I'll do my own makeup because I've seen her do it enough, So I mean, keep in mind, I was 5 years old. Okay, so when I go, there's like a makeup station, and there's a big mirror, and then there was red, blue, and black paint, and I just started to dab it in the black paint, and I started to put it on my face. And I was like, that's not nearly enough. So I went back to the black, and I did blackface, and I didn't mean to. I wasn't, it wasn't like, yeah, that'll show him. It was like but I was 5, so I was like, looking good. I had to go out. It was a sold out show. It was Christmas, and I'm like standing in the wing. I'm like, ooh, we got a hot crowd tonight. And they're like, Jesus, And then I went on stage, and I was like, look what you did to me, Scrooge! And in that moment, he wasn't even Scrooge. He was just Michael. He was like, I didn't do that. That was Crystal, guys. So, yeah. Now I didn't get into acting. I thought maybe I'd just do something with acting because my dad did. I don't know. I've had like dumb guy jobs my whole life. You guys know what those are? Just those jobs, you just have a body. And they're like, we just need a body, I mean, I've had those jobs my whole life. It's just, when I moved here, I worked at a donut shop. Yeah, just so you know what I'm about. Which, by the way, if any of you want to work at a donut shop, if you're like eager, this is what you can do. So you can write this down. This is steps to get in at a donut shop, all right? So you start off, you get a degree in film in North Dakota. So you have to start there, right? And then you move to New York, right? And you need a job immediately or you'll be homeless. So you go to a food festival in Williamsburg and you meet an old Jewish man and you're like, do you have a business? And he's like, of course I have a business. And then what the old Jewish guy will do is he'll hire you at his donut shop, right? And you work in a kitchen all day with Hispanic women from DR in their 50s. And you think they're your friends at first because you're like, hey, Mary. And she's like, hi. And you're like, all right, And then you're flipping. But then you hear them talking to each other and you think they're talking shit about you in Spanish. But you don't know what they're saying, but you hear gringo, and you're like, I know gringo, So what you do next is you record their conversation secretly on your phone, and you're like, keep talking shit, bitches, or whatever, And then you go home and you play it out loud for your Puerto Rican girlfriend, and she listens to it, and it's not good. But she's like, did you tell them you have foreskin? And you're like, no. And she's like, they know. So then what she'll do is she'll give you rebuttals to use on them in Spanish, and you practice in the shower. You're like, cállate, bitch, or whatever, And then you go back and you use it on them, and then they respect you. So that's what a film degree does. I don't remember how we got into that, but that's what a film degree does. And I got fired from the donut shop too. That's how. You think a donut shop, you quit, That's a job where you're like, I fucking hate this place. I hate you. But they were like, you're fired. I'm like, no, please. When I got fired too, I was hanging out with Brandon. You saw Brandon earlier. We went to this bar after, and he was asking me questions. What happens when you get fired, if you've never been fired, you drink and hang out with friends. And Brandon asked me the dumbest question. You can, if you have a friend who works at a donut shop, this is the dumbest question you can ask them. He was like, hey, when you were at the donut shop, did anyone ever hit on you? Like, did anyone ever flirt with you when they were getting a donut? And I was like, no. What? No one wants to fuck the donut boy. Like, I don't know how it needs to... There's nothing hot. I'm like covered in glaze all over my chest. It looks like cum all over my chest. Like, this is mine. Like, no one is... There was one time I thought maybe this lady was hitting on me. I couldn't really tell, but okay, a little backstory for the donut shop. We had coffee and donuts, the big two. And this woman came in, and she was a black woman, and she was like, can I just get a cup of coffee? And I was like, yeah, do you want any milk in it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, how much milk do you want in it? And she was like, make it look like if we had a kid together. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm coming right up. I love making these, like, I'm trying to, so I started to fill it, and then I was like, I don't fucking know, like, what color would it be albino? Like, where did they come from, And I think she could tell I was nervous, because I started pouring it in the sink and refilling it. Maybe she wants to adopt, maybe, I don't know, like a Chinese thing. But I filled it, and then I put it on the counter in front of her, and I was like, how's that? And she looked at it, and she was like, that's perfect. And I was just trying to say something cool to, like, keep it. But you ever say something, and you're like, I shouldn't have said that, Because I was like, don't spill it, we'll have a miscarriage. And it didn't land at all. She was like, what? I was like, it'll die. All right, you guys were a lot of fun. Thank you very much.